Alright, what's up, y'all? We here for a stream. Let's see. I'm just posting that I'm live right now. Alright, so this is what I'm gonna do. So what we have here is we have some red news that's releasing later on at around 2 o'clock. So it is a good amount of time to look at the charts to see if there's gonna be any setups. So the first thing we do, well, we finish with the news. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look into my accounts. I'm gonna show y'all my account, show y'all I didn't take trades off stream, and then we can get into the analysis part. So where is it? First account, it's right here. This is the 100k FXify account, and then this is the 100k 5%ers account. And we're just showing up, we're following the same rules, executing the same rules, and that's it. That's the only job you have as a trader. I'll say over and over for every stream. So these are my accounts right here. I'm in drawdown, and all I gotta do is just follow my rules as a trader. That's all you gotta do. So let me get started right here. Let's see. Okay, GPUSD, what is it doing? I had marked it up a little bit last night because it was looking, the bias was looking good basically. So what we have here is we have a flush, price coming down on all the MAs, that's the flush. And after price comes down all the MAs, what we can expect is 4 to 5 breaks of structure. That's the context time frame because we're overall bullish. We can even confirm that by looking at the daily. Pretty self-explanatory. We're just moving higher. So we started on the beginning of the cycle on this context time frame. If I go down to the validation time frame, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can always go through my other streams. You can go on my channel to see what I'm talking about. So on the validation time frame, I basically want what the context time frame is telling me. So I want price to start and move, basically, because we have a flush. So if we mark it out, price came under all the MAs right here. Validation, flush, and price came up. What I will want for price to do it on this 30-minute right here, let me show y'all where my path tool is, to make a bit of a move, probably out of this range right here, pause against the 10 and 20, and that's where I'm going to be looking for entry confirmations on the 5-minute. But right now it wouldn't be wise for me to be trading the 5 minutes because the price is going back and forth. It's not ready to make a move. So that's what I'm realizing right there. So what I can do is I could put price this in blue because it could set up this session. We just need a nice momentum push. Let me see what gold is doing. Gold, let me see the higher time frame. Let me delete this extra stuff right here at the side. All right, The 5 hour time frame right here, we have a nice bullish market right here. Price ended up flushing, and then we made a move, creating the context breaker structure 1. You can even consider it right here. This is the context breaker structure 1. On the validation time frame, what we see here is price ended up flushing under all the MAs, and after the flush, like I said, we expect 4 to 5 breaks of structure. But right now, there's nothing to really do because price is just moving sideways. It's just consolidating. So what I want price to do is to move out of this area, pause against the 10 and 20, and I'll look for those confirmations. It looks exactly like GBP/USD in terms of the movement that I'm expecting. So it wouldn't be wise for me to trade a lower time frame because it's just moving. It's not going nowhere. And I'm looking for a good trend to get involved in because that's where most of the money can be made. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing. So Bitcoin is actually interesting right here. It's actually started the move that I was expecting. So as you can see, I drew this out right here. Let me just delete these extra arrows. On the 5 hour, we had a flush and I was expecting the move to happen out of this. Even if the move didn't happen and it went the opposite way, there would have been nothing for me to do. And that's very important because I wouldn't have lost money. So price ended up moving higher right here on the context time frame, and we're creating the context breaker structure 1 right here because price ended up pausing right here. On the 30-minute validation time frame, what do we notice? So let me kind of move this out of the way. We had price made a what's it called, validation flush. I can consider this whole thing 1. So because of the way how price pushed up right here, it got bought up immediately. It didn't play around the 50, but it got bought up immediately like that. This is probably context validation breaker structure 2. So what I could do is, because it's around the same area right there, and if I go on a lower time frame to see what's going on here, let's see. I marked this up last night right here. So we came down nicely to the 50. It's kind of playing around. I don't like how price is moving. So the most recent area to probably look for entries would be right here. But the thing is, look how price is moving. It's not moving clean. It's not moving in a straight move down. It's just consolidating. So it wouldn't be wise for me to look for any entries here, even though price is pausing against that 10 right here. It's in a good context. Price is pausing, but the only thing is on the entry time frame, it looks choppy right here. So why would I enter price? I'm gonna just simply ignore I'm gonna simply just wait for a cleaner price action, or I'm gonna just ignore it. So what do I want instead? Maybe if we can get like more of a clear, even if we get like a more of a clear move down, and then we begin to set up, I'll give it one chance to probably set up down here if it did something like that. Or if we made a new range higher, like a completely new range, and then we started to reset up, we made its way down cleanly, I'll give it one chance to set up higher like that. So what I can do is I can put this in blue, put that up here. So gold is the only one that, wait, gold is not even ready yet. I'm gonna put that in blue. So I'm gonna put this in green only because what I'm waiting for to happen is on a 5-minute time frame. So that could really happen anytime soon. Let's see what US30 is doing. US30. Let's see. US30. So we ended up flushing back down, so we can ended up deleting all these. We ended up flushing right here. Price pushed up just a little, but I don't think it's enough to make a decision on a lower time frame. Yeah, I would want price to make a little bit more of a move. So maybe if it can come up a little bit higher like this, at that point, a little trend would be beginning itself. And then I will wait for the same type of movement on the validation. Same thing. But right now, the US30 isn't ready for any trades. Let's see, what's the context of this market? The context of this market, nothing to be done because we're reflushing right now. Yeah. Nothing to be done. Nothing to be done. We're still just moving sideways. Delete all this right here. Prices came to pause against that 10 and 20, but there's nothing to be done on a lower. Euro USD looks like all the other pairs right here. Yeah, it looks like the other pairs, GBP, Euro USD, except we just haven't came out of this range, so we flushed down to the 50, and we're waiting for price to basically make a move above this area to start pausing against the 10 and 20. Actually, not even pausing against the 10 and 20. We need a move to start itself on this 30-minute, which you can see how ugly price action is. It's just consolidating. So I'll wait for the price to make a move above that high. Let me delete all this extra stuff. So price, if we look at a weekly perspective, is bullish. And then if we look at our own context time frame, let's just look at a daily as well. The daily, we ended up breaking up once, but we have to keep in mind this market, even though I was looking for short-term shorts before because of the daily breaks, we also have to keep in mind stocks usually go up over time, right? And you can see that displayed by the weekly time frame, right? And this breakdown was probably for the purpose of re-breaking up in terms of what I look for structure. If you get multiple breaks in one direction, a breakdown, the most likely on target is the break up. Example right here, we have a breakdown, target up. There's probably multiple examples somewhere. Yeah. So what we have here on this 5 hours price starts to prove itself by flushing and came here, paused on the 10 and 20, pushed higher, came here, got bought up immediately right here by that 20, pause here. So that's 1, 2, 3. This came back down into it, so you can consider this 3 right here. But the validation time frame isn't necessarily ready right now because we just flushed right here. I need a move to start itself, to prove itself right here, pausing cleanly at a 10 and 20 before looking at something. So yeah, the only thing that looks like it could do a move is Bitcoin, but I just gotta basically just wait. Just wait. Oh. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for a clean setup, let me see. Do I see something I could take for a different time frame entry? Yeah. For a different time frame entry, I'm gonna take a challenge trade, because whenever I switch my time frames, I say this in every stream, but just in case somebody new is watching, if I look for a different time frame entry, I'm just entering for a challenge, because my whole thought process is the challenge doesn't really matter. If I could pass that while I'm waiting to take trades for the funded accounts, I can have more funding by the time it's ready for me to take an actual trade for these funded accounts, which can make me more money. So in the long run too. So what I notice here is there's probably like a clean potential entry for GBPUSD for a challenge. Right here, what we have here is we have a nice move down on this 1 hour. We can use the 6 hour for validation. You can see that we had this move down, flushing. We came up, we paused in against this 10 and 20, right? And yeah, this is what I'm basically expecting for this 6 hour to play out. So we move up, but keep making these moves basically. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a buy stop order for this 1 hour. Not yet. I'm gonna wait for price to close. I want this candle to close without price re-breaking through this 20 right here, because price opened up bullish like this, so it's rejecting upwards with the 10 and 20, so that's a good sign. So I would definitely prepare an entry right here if price doesn't go through this high right here. If it does go through the high, I would have to wait for this opportunity again. I need the candle to pause basically. Yeah, did it get through the high? Not yet. Wait, did it? I didn't. Yeah, it got through the high. So yeah, that I could look at that area another time. But I'm gonna put this in like light blue so I can know that there's a different time frame entry in it. You probably wonder, why didn't I try to use this one? Well, one, I wasn't up, and two, this is a different context. Market has just broke up and then it re-broke down, so it's consolidating. I would need to break up from this area first versus how this looks like a straight move down. Now if it ends up just re-breaking down, then I'll need a re-break of that high basically. So yeah, I basically analyzed every market. Yeah, price is moving nicely. What I'm trying to do is see if I can get involved in, instead of waiting for a 1 hour on entry for my challenge, I was wondering if I can wait for a 1 minute entry based on the 30 minute being the highest time frame as a context, right? And we started making a move, the 6 hour being a validation. You can see the flushes, that pauses against the MAs, that pauses. And I'm waiting for another pause to potentially get involved in that. Have you made a mistake during your trading journey? Yeah, I made mistakes before. Um, are you talking about beginning of my trading journey or recently? Yeah, I have made trading mistakes. It's all about acknowledging when you make a mistake and limitizing the mistakes, because you got to recognize that you're human and you will make mistakes. That's why you got to journal your trades to basically make sure you're doing everything as accurately as possible. And how do you know you're doing everything as accurate as possible? Before you're even trading, you should have already back tested your trades for at least 100 trades. 100 to 200 is recommended, and that's going to give you the confidence to actually trade your system, because you know what your system does long term. After that, you gotta be demo testing that system, because that gives you the patience to actually trade the system, because you're actually waiting. Because during back testing, you don't actually feel the patience it needs to wait for a setup. And then three is actually executing those rules after you back tested for at least, I mean, demo tested for at least 6 months. You had some good results. That's when you can actually um take that to the next level. But yeah, I have made trading mistakes. This year, I talked about it before on my channel. The beginning of the year, I lost 2% in January, and that could have been a break even month for me. But the mistakes I made was I didn't account for some spreads, and my entries are usually some buy stops. So I got tagged in early about 3 times during that month, and I could have avoided that whole thing, because I could have basically avoided it if I accounted for spreads. So what I did was I noted that in my journal, because you can see my journal in the top corner right here. But I noted it in my journal. I think it was even. I think this one was a trade. I think it was this one. I got tagged in early, and then there was another one that I took. No, it wasn't this one. It was, yeah, this one as well. I got tagged in early. So it's all about just noting, writing it down. And then, let's see, another trading mistake that I made was, I mean, it's not like mistakes that are extremely terrible. Another one that I made was the one for that I took for a challenge where I was almost there to pass in phase one, and then I ended up closing the trade early by accident. How do I deal with it after you made mistakes? Well, the way how I deal with it, like it's kind of different because of the work I did prior. Because I'm not really worried about um I just come up with a plan because I recognize trading is a business. Because once you recognize trading is a business and what you have to do to actually become profitable, you stop yourself from self sabotaging yourself. And what do I mean by that? Is most traders, they don't do the actual work to actually recognize what they need to do to become profitable. And that's what I said in the beginning. You have to back test your trades. If you're back testing your trades, you know that these silly things, like after you make a mistake, you're trying to make that money back or whatever. That doesn't make you money long term. Following your rules makes you money, and you learn that during your back testing. So my question for you is, have you back tested your trades for at least 100 trades? I want to ask you those few questions before like we even get to the main question on how you deal with your mistakes, because when you do the prior work, that helps you understand why you should limitize your mistakes. So that's why if you ever look at my live streams, if you ever look at me trading, you would notice that I'm pretty patient when it comes to waiting for my setup. Those silly things of making mistakes, they don't really get to me. They may get to me a little, but I instantly come up with a plan and then I move on, because that making mistakes, allowing myself to make mistakes, isn't gonna make me money. So let me know, have you even back tested like 100 trades, and do you have the images for those trades? That's the first thing. Because think about trading like this. Trading is like a it's like a it's a high paying skill set that needs a certain requirement. But the problem is, trading doesn't have this, like, it there's a certain requirement to trade, but there's actually a low barrier to entry, because anybody can end up opening a small account with $100 and end up trading today. But the problem is, real trading actually takes a lot of work before you should actually hop on the charts. It's like if you want to be a surgeon. In order to be a surgeon, you need these certain qualifications. You can't just pop out of high school and expect to be a surgeon. So that's the problem with a lot of people. So they don't really understand what to do in certain situations. And it's all about also preparing for your downside as well. So an example with the trade that I took for one of my challenges, and I ended up closing the trade by accident a little bit early. What I did was, I immediately stopped myself and I was like, okay, this is my plan. I looked at on the video, looked at the stream. I said, this is my plan. I'm gonna wait for another setup, and if I do get another setup, I'm just gonna risk a small amount. Uh, I, I think I said $300 to get over the line to pass on phase one. I already do all the back testing, but last day I made a mistake because I wanted to move my position order higher than my first order. My position order, was that during your live stage? Like, was that during like a funded account, or like a live account? Because what I recommend you do, like, if you already did the back testing, so you already have your system down, you already know how your system performs long term. So you should know your maximum drawdown, your win rate, and all that. So right now, I recommend If you didn't do this already, you should be on a demo test, and then I'm on tilt because I don't respect my rules from -2 to 4. All right, so the system that you were trading, do you have you have clear rules for those systems? So you know that during back testing that system made you money, so you're funded. So what I recommend you do, you did skip a step. Like whenever I talk about this on my channel, and all my videos are free, by the way. Whenever I talk about this, there's a video on my channel on how to handle your psychology, and your psychology gets fixed automatically when you do all 3 steps. So you basically skipped a step if you didn't do that back testing phase. So the back testing phase is basically when you're trading everything that you did on your demo on your did I say this right? The demo testing phase is basically when you trade everything you did during that back testing phase. From I should be -2 from the last day, but I got -4 because I'm tilt. Yeah, that's because you skipped some steps. Basically, you said you already back tested, but you're already on the funded account. So you need to. I understand that you're on the funded account, but one thing you got to recognize is you have to do the back testing. I mean, not the back testing, the demo testing phase where you're demo testing on an account for at least 6 months. Why do you need a demo test on this account? Because you need to see how you are reacting towards making mistakes, real-time mistakes. Because mistakes will happen, but it's about how you handle them as a trader, and you know that already. You already know that for yourself, but it's about just implementing that on a demo account before you go for another challenge. So I'm not saying that you should lose your funded account. Just that's something you got to keep in mind. So instead of, if you ever go for another challenge to scale up, before even doing that, I recommend just getting that demo account opened up, trade that for 6 months, see how you react to making mistakes, all that, because that's gonna show you in real time what you actually need to do to continue to replicate those results on the funded account, if you get what I'm saying. And look at it like this too as well. One mistake doesn't define your whole trading results. Think about it. If you're looking to be a trader for the long haul, right? You're gonna be taking hundreds, thousands of trades throughout your whole career as a trader, right? So even if you make one mistake, it's not gonna really affect everything, unless you constantly making those mistakes. So my thing, what I usually tell people, and I tell myself as well, is limit the amount of mistakes you're making. And you can limit the amount of mistakes you're making by the work you already did. So you already did that back testing, and you just need that demo testing as well. Yeah. So it's really just about understanding. There's certain things you just gotta recognize. Like me, when I show up to the markets to trade, I automatically assume that I'm not gonna get a trade for the day. So that's me understanding that not every day will be a setup for me personally. And then if I do take a trade, I'm automatically assuming that trade will be a loss. So that's me understanding that I don't have 100% win rate, and I could lose that trade because I make every possible mistake. I try to be better after you make those mistakes. Yeah, at least you understand that you are making mistakes. Now, it's about like just putting that into a plan to limit that mistakes, because you're not gonna 100% just get rid of the mistakes, because you got to recognize you're still human. Oh, and one thing I also recommend you do, I almost forgot this. It's a very important thing. You need to have a journal as well. So every single trade that you are taking, you need to have a journal, and you need to write down what you did in those trades as well. And at the end of each week, you need to review those trades. At the end of the month, you need to review those trades. At the end of the quarter, you need to review those trades. And at the end of the year, you need to review those trades. Because this is an important step, because as we are trading, right, it takes a while for us to find our setup than during back testing. So we have to make sure the setups that we're taking during like our funded accounts are similar to the trades that we took during our back testing and demo testing phase, if you get what I'm saying. Because you could be trading on your funded account and not know that you're making mistakes, but you're making mistakes because you didn't take you're making mistakes basically, but you didn't realize because you don't have images on those mistakes. So if you look at my recent video on my channel, I posted a video on losing around 1,300 across both my funded accounts in April. So that was basically reviewing my personal trades as well, because I'm looking at the images. So I can always like go to my journal. I can be like, oh, I can look at, okay, what did I do for this trade? This was a, let me see, what kind of trade was it? It was a challenge trade, because I write down, I basically jot down both my trades for challenge and funded. I could see what I did. Okay, oh yeah, I did make another mistake like last week, but it wasn't in terms of my rules. It was in terms of like, I think I got shaky hands basically. So for phase 2 of one of my challenges, I'm trying to get like just $500 days, $500 days to pass, and I ended up closing like at 450, something like that. So that was a mistake on my part, and then I ended up finding another setup. But look, I can always just look at my trades and see what I did right. Took a trade right here. I closed a little bit early, then I found another opportunity, took that trade, and then you take what happened after in that trade. So all the images. So now when I'm reviewing, I can be like, wait, oh, there's something that I missed. I didn't do something right. Or I can look at like just making sure everything is similar. So these types of setups that I'm taking right here are very similar to what I'm in terms of what I'm used to seeing. This looks like it may even set up something clean. Yeah. If you look at this image, let's look at this image. This image right here you see here looks like this image right here, but on a different time frame. Yeah, you just got to be better by looking over at your data and not making the same mistake twice. That's how you improve. You can also improve your own system by looking at your overall trades and see if there is something you could have did better. Is there a way that you could have managed a trade particularly better? So a good example of this was one of my management styles. I have different ways to manage my trades. Well, one of my most recent ways to manage a trade is basically, if I enter a trade, I will basically trail my full position with the 10 EMA. So once price breaks that 10 EMA, I'll close the full position. So how did I improve? How did I get to that management point? Well, there was a trade that I took for, I think it was gold. On most of my trades I took this year were challenge trades. That's why I keep referring to my challenge trades. I'm trying to find which one it was exactly. It ran a huge R, but I didn't make much because of partials. And I noticed that I could make more with doing this way of management. Gold. I'm trying to find where that trade was taken. It was a really, really, really good trade. Yeah, it was this trade right here. This trade right here, it ran a good amount of money. So how do I improve for this? I looked back at all my trades and looked at my management and what I was doing, and I asked myself, was there a way to get better at catching the move? So I looked at a total amount of trades rather than an individual trade to make my decision. And I noticed Based on all my winners, I could have made more money just holding the full position and closing when price breaks the 10 EMA, which is the black EMA right here. Cause this ran a good R, but I only made 2.09 on that. So certain things like that, yeah, that's how you like improve like your own personal trading right there. Before I continue talking, just rechecking the charts to see if there's any opportunities for me to take. I don't like how that's kind of moving right there. Let me see. Yeah, I don't really like how that's moving right there. Yeah, if you ever have any questions, you can definitely always ask me. You can definitely check out my channel and stuff like that. Like what you're gonna see is like I'm just a trader who is just trying to improve as well and just sharing my journey as well. So I'm just documenting my everything, cause I'm a trader just like you. Like even though I am profitable, I still do take losses. I take occasional wins. I take break evens, but I just manage them better than most people. And then one thing you got to recognize about funded accounts as well, funded accounts don't really determine it, like even if you hit the max drawdown, um recognize this, it doesn't mean that you're a bad trader at all, because 10% drawdown is really it's a decent number for even profitable traders to hit. Because if prop firms, think about it too, we all know prop firm makes money off of losing traders, so it wouldn't make sense for them to even give us a actual reasonable drawdown. Because you can even look it up, like you can look up like actual profitable traders who are really out there. They do have these sometimes 15 to 20% drawdown, but you would that's why I'm feeling like the prop firms, they can make you feel like you're not a good trader just because you hit the 10% drawdown, but that's not necessarily the case. I feel like the one that really matters is that daily drawdown as well, because you can always prevent yourself from hitting that daily drawdown. Price looks extremely like what I'm thinking right here. Like I'm thinking about taking a setup on a 1 hour for my challenge, because what I typically enter on trades for for a 5 minute time frame. If I'm gonna enter for like my funded accounts, I trade copy them, so I try to enter on the 5 minute time frame. I know how to enter on like different time frames because I use multi time frame analysis based on the time frame of entry. So whenever I'm looking for a different time frame entry, I usually just take it for my challenge. And my whole idea behind that is like if I'm waiting for setups for my funded accounts and I can take entries from my challenge account and potentially pass that, by the time I'm ready to take a trade from my funded accounts, I have more funding to make more money with. So that's my whole thought process. So what I'm basically seeing here is a potential opportunity to take a buy stop above this high. The thing is, my entries it's nothing special. It's nothing special. It's just a move up. I wait for price to pause, and the pause is basically another candle printing before taking out the previous candle's high, and I'll set a buy stop above that right there. I'll look at the ATR, have a decent size stop loss right there, and that's it. So that's would probably be my trade setup if price can close like this without taking out the high right here in the next 40 minutes for a potential 1 hour entry. And there's more things that go into it as well, like taking into account what the higher time frame is doing. So if I'm using a 1 hour as entry, I need to use my the weekly as my highest time frame to establish the context. And we're moving bullish. Basically, we're moving bullish, right? I use my 6 hour, my 6 hour as my validation time frame. So just one more time frame I use before jumping down to that 1 hour. We had a nice move down. I call this the flush, when price moves down to under all the MAs like this. And I basically wait for price to move out of this area. Pause, which means it stops by at 10 and 20. I want it to move down like that. And that's where I look for an entry setup. Like this. It's just simple. Like, you're just also recognize this. You're going to naturally get better and better over time the more you do something repeatedly. So as long as you stick to the system that you have right now and you're doing it repeatedly over and over. So if you're already, like, you already know that system makes you money during your back testing. So as long as you do it over and over, you're just naturally going to get better because you're gaining experience. If you do one thing over and over, you're just naturally going to get better. It applies to anything. So you're going to know what you need to look for. You're going to know what you need to do. And that's essentially what backtesting does. You doing the same, taking the same trades based on rules. That's what's giving you that repetition, basically. Yeah, I'm glad that makes sense, basically. Because if you really think about why most traders fail, most traders haven't really did the actual work. You can go up to a trader right now and ask them, you can ask them, like, even most traders, believe it or not, like, since you already have that back testing, you already put yourself ahead of most traders as well. You don't make the same mistakes but still doing new ones. I don't make the same mistakes but you're still doing new ones. Yeah, it's about, like, are you gonna actually change something about it though? Because you didn't know that before, which is, like, I mean, you knew that before, but there's some new tips you could take from here that you can implement to help you stop those extra mistakes. Like, what are the actual mistakes that you are making too as well? Is it just emotional mistakes? Because if it's just emotional mistakes, like, I'm pretty sure, like, if you use the demo account method and trade the system, just trade it, that's gonna help. If I follow the rules 100%, I don't make. Could you reword that? I don't make mistakes, but still doing new one. Then you said, if I follow the rules 100%, I don't make any. Do you mean like you don't make any emotional mistakes 100%? Or if you're asking me, is that what happens? Because you're gonna feel some type of emotion. It's about what you do as well. But when I do make mistakes by myself, system, I often have emotion involved. It's because when you make the reason why it's gonna happen to any trader. If I did an emotional mistake myself, so if I did that personally, then I'm gonna feel emotional as well, just like you. And the reason why you probably feel emotional for that mistake is because you wasn't supposed to do it. One, and two, you don't really have data on that mistake you just did. Think about it. Whenever you make an emotional mistake, like even though we backtest our system and we don't really know the outcome of our individual trades, we know that following our system overall will make money. But whenever we take an emotional trade or something out of the plan, we don't know what we don't know what it's gonna do long term to our performance. And that's why we might be more emotional. That's why you gotta avoid it at all costs. You gotta keep reminding yourself that you don't know if you take an emotional trade, you don't know what it does long term to your system. But what you do know is if you follow the same rules, no matter what, if you follow the same rules, that's what you do know. You know that it's gonna make you money long term. So it's about just reminding yourself that too. Cause I tell myself the only way I will make money trading is following the same rules. Like if you look at, I started the year in drawdown. I'm still in drawdown. Like this is my longest drawdown streak, but yet I'm still following my rules because these are the rules that made me money from 2022 to 2024. And the only way that I could stop myself from continuing to make that money is if I stop following the rules. And this is mainly why I do these live streams for people. It's so they can see that I take losses just like anybody. But the one thing that you're gonna notice about me is I'm gonna still take the same setups, because the setups that I'm taking are in line with what my winners look like. So if I'm taking some losses, it doesn't matter because the same losses are in line with what my winners would look like. So it's just about keep on executing that. And I think it's also a social media thing too that is also affecting you while you're making emotional mistakes with your system, because emotional mistakes with a system all comes down to money. So you have to find why you're specifically emotional too as well. Is it a money issue as well? Because I know most people, the reason why they're making a lot of mistakes is because it may be a money issue. It may be they simply just didn't test the system. But like you said, you already back tested your system and stuff like that. And then, oh yeah, like I was saying about social media as well. Social media, what you're gonna notice on social media is a lot of people are gonna just be posting their wins. There's very few people online that post their losses as well. So when you hop on YouTube, you hop on Instagram, and you see everybody posting their wins, and then you just ended up taking a loss for the day, it's gonna make you feel bad. So you may show up to the next session throwing out your whole plan. You have to ignore the noise, because you gotta understand that the journey that you on is you versus you. It's not you versus me over here. It's not you versus the next person. It's just you versus you. Yeah. Like I watch some of those videos, but the main YouTubers I watch are the ones that actually show their losses. Like one trader I always talk about on my channel is Trader Nick. You know, he will pull up his track record. He will show you the reality. Those are the type of YouTubers you need to be watching. You don't want to be watching the people that are promoting account flips, because when beginners, or not even a beginner, when somebody is seeing constant account flips, they're gonna want to do the same thing. So their mindset is gonna automatically have this high risk mindset. There's gonna be a lot of emotional things getting involved. Rather than if I came on YouTube and I just showed y'all me live trading, and y'all saw, okay, he made money, and this is why he made money. It's because he accepted his losses, wins, and break evens. Oh, that's what I need to do as well. So it's about just recognizing. Because I feel like if somebody can see another person do it, that's gonna give them the confidence for themselves to do it. Because there's no difference between somebody making $1 million and you. It's all about the mindset. Like, I could easily, right here, I could easily chase price because it didn't do what I was expecting right here. Because if you remember, I was waiting for this candle right here before, I wanted it to print before taking out this candle's high to set a buy stop above here. But it's moving without me. But that's fine with me because it was fine with me because of the work I did. I implemented the patience I needed during my demo testing phase. I know that I need to wait, and sometimes I may wait and this may not happen, but it doesn't mean that my setup is not going to happen again forever. The market's been here longer than I've been born, and I'm turning 22 this year, so the market's still going to be here. So yeah, any type of YouTuber that is just showing mainly just their wins and not showing their overall P&L, and they're not telling you like the really reality of it, you probably just don't want to watch them. They're gonna affect your trading results. So like any type of business, you're just gonna need a business plan. And like if you don't know already, trading is a business. So you need to have a business plan that makes sense. A business plan that basically runs on data. And that's why you're gonna hear me say you need to collect data with that back testing, because business runs on data. I always use this example, like if you're selling products, right? You can't just sell a random product and think it's gonna sell. You gotta gather information about your customers, your competition, the right price point, certain things like that to actually get it sell. And then you gotta make improvements over time. You may make improvements on the customer, the product packaging. You may make improvements on your website. Stuff like that. It's the same thing with trading. Over time, as you're taking trades, you're gonna make improvements by you took the images of your trades and you're looking back at them to see, did you do everything according to plan? And if so, like, was there a way to do it better? And if there was a way to do it better, you can test that as well. And there's one thing I said this in my stream before, but this tip can really help you as well. Is Since you already got your back testing system, so whenever you go to that demo testing phase, because even though I know you have that funded account, you can trade it. You can do whatever you want to do, but you can still open up that demo account to test on the side as well, like trade as well. But basically, just do this. Just trade the system. So let's just say you take 100. Your average trades from your back testing. You know that you take maybe 100 trades per year, right? So if you know you take 100 trades per year, let's just say your win rate is 40%. You win 40% of your times, but each time when you're winning, you're making more in your winners. So what I want you to do is I want you to expect, you demo test too. All right, so I want you to automatically, if you have a 40% win rate, I want you to expect 60 losses throughout the whole year. So you're trading. So say you have that demo account right now, and from this day, on what day is it? Is May 7th. From May 7th of 2025 to May 7th of 2026. Damn, I just lost what I was saying. Oh, yeah. I remember what I was saying. You're basically going to count how many losses. So if you have that 40% win rate, you're going to expect 60 losses and expect 40 wins. And at the end of the day, at the end of that year, that time period, given the fact that you followed your rules, and if you had a certain gainer per win, you should end up profitable. Because a lot of people they get lost by when they're taking especially if they're on a losing streak or they're in drawdown or something, they get lost by the individual amount of trades when they can just count how many losses they're taking throughout the whole year, throughout a certain number of trades, count how many wins, and if they have a certain RR, then they will be profitable out of that certain sample size. Good morning, man. Good morning. I hope that made sense. Basically, what I told. I did an example with that video. I have a video on my channel. It's an hour long. It's basically just me back testing to show y'all this. This is how I make money while being wrong. So the thumbnail shows 700 losses and 300 wins. So you basically you already have a proven system. So you already have the system down, and you're just counting the amount of losses and wins you're having throughout a larger time frame, a larger period of time. Let me just check some of the markets real quick. I've been talking for a minute, so I want to make sure I'm not missing anything from my actual funded accounts. Let me see what's going on. Waiting for we started moving sideways at the top, made this nice movement down. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna trade this. I'm not gonna trade Bitcoin because Bitcoin doesn't look too clear for me, so I'm not gonna trade it. The higher time frame look clear in terms of what I want to expect, but the lower time frame entry doesn't look as clear. I feel like I want to take a basically an entry where it moves up, it pauses, and I take an entry. But the thing I'm noticing right here is price has started a consolidation right here, so it can potentially consolidate and chop me out before the move. So yeah, for regular entries, that doesn't make sense for me. What do you think about trading the 1 minute chart? I think if you're trading the 1 minute chart, I feel like you do need to have like a filtering process on when you should take trades and when you should not take trades. That could be like your because I don't know your system. I don't know anybody's system at all, but this is my personal opinion. I feel like there should be like just a filtering process, because if you're on a 1 minute time frame, there's going to be a lot of areas where you could potentially take trades, and you could be taking anything and everything, and that could cause you to have random results because you're taking random trades everywhere. But if you have a filtering on criteria, like you're only taking trades when this specific thing happens at this specific moment, then it's much better. Because if you notice, like if you watch my channel, I have taken 1 minute trades on my challenges before, but I have a filtering process before I take a 1 minute trade. So if I find an example, where is it? I know I have a 1 minute trade. Yeah, this is an example right here. I have a 1 minute trade. I have a filtering process because I start off with the higher time frame. I establish the context of the market and what the market is doing. Then I go down to a 6 minute time frame, and I establish, where's the image? I establish the context of what the market is doing. And then that's when I will drop down to a lower time frame and see if my entries happening clean. So I may take a loss, I may take a win, I may take a break even. So this is another example right here, this US 30 trade right here. I took two of them. There was one right here, but before I even took that 1 minute trade, there was multiple steps before I rushed down to that 1 minute. So that's my filtering process, basically. Because think about it, like right here, I wouldn't, like, I know when to go into basically 1 minute to look for potential opportunities. And I can say right now, it's like a decent area to probably look for 1 minute. But I can guarantee you, I wouldn't have been looking for 1 minute trades during this area because of my multi-time frame analysis. Right here, I could actually look for 1 minute opportunities. It probably looks clean for something. Yeah. Price does actually look clean for something, but it can easily fail. That makes sense. Thank you. You're welcome, man. So, like, if I'm looking for a 1 minute trade right here, I will start off with the 30 minute time frame to establish what price is doing. So for my system, we have a cycle of price. So price flushed, and the flush is basically price coming to this 50 right here, or coming down through all the MAs like this, right? And then after that, I expect 4 to 5 fractal breaks of structure before we reflush. So what we have here, we have this flush. You can consider this the first fractal break of structure 1. You can consider this the second one right here. And then I go on my 6 minute time frame and I validate what I want to see before I jump on this 1 minute time frame for entry. So I want to see the same thing. So we have a flush, then price came up, pausing against the 10 and 20, and then we reflushed down. We came up, we paused against the 10 and 20, moved higher, paused against the 10 and 20, and we're still pausing right here. So if I was to look for an entry for this, I could see that price made a straight move down. It looks cleanly. So if price can make a move up like this, pause against the 10 and 20, I could set a buy stop for a 1 minute, basically. You're welcome, man. And if price doesn't want to do this exact thing that I'm expecting, it's just going to fail down and there's nothing to do. One thing you got to recognize is when your analysis fails, it doesn't mean you're losing money. It doesn't mean that you did something wrong, because I only take trades when my analysis plays out exactly with what I'm expecting. So there's times where I can mark out this move where I want price to hold up from this area and continue higher, and price can simply just re-break down. And if price re-breaks down, there's just nothing for me to do, and I have to wait for price to do what I'm expecting. So a 1 minute actually looks good. I may take a 1 minute trade for my challenge. Cause like I said, I'm only trying to take five like entries for my funded accounts when it's a 5 minute entry, and none of the markets are actually ready as of right now for 5 minute entries, based on what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna take other trades if I see opportunities. So yeah, it's moving lower and lower. Let's see what it's doing on this time frame right here. Because it can't reflush to this 50 right here. At that point, if it comes back down to the 50 right here, then I could stop looking at the 1 minute, because my analysis didn't play out for me to even take a trade in the first place. So that's what it basically looks like it's doing right now. Yep. Yeah. So I could start watching the 1 minute right here. It's already like it rebroke the 20 right here. What I can do is, let me see. I think it may set something up for my actual entry time frame for a funded account. Cause if I'm taking a 5 minute entry, this is the time frames I use for the 5 minute. So if I'm looking for 5 minute entries, I use the 5 hour to establish my context. I'll also use like one more time frame higher, like either the daily, to just establish like, okay, where is the market really heading? And we're heading bullish right now. You can see the market going higher. Then I use the 5 hour to see if we have a cycle of price. We have that flush. Price came up, pausing against the 10 and 20 right here. And like I said, I'm expecting 4 to 5 breaks of structure before we reflush. So now I can hop on this 30 minute, and what we have here is we have a flush. We're expecting the same thing. Price made a move higher, and it's currently pausing against that 10 right here. So yeah, I could look for potential trades on this 5 minute. We have to see how clean it looks on this 5 minute. So let me get rid of this out of the way, because we could set something up clean. Okay, let me delete all this. Okay, we made a move that's close to the 50, because what I want to see on the entry time frame is a decent straight move, not a choppy move, but I want a nice move down to this 50, right? Or close to the 50, or under the 50. Either one of those are valid. And as we come close to that 50, I want a move to start like this. A small little pause, and I'll buy stop that. That's what I'm basically expecting right there. So what you're gonna notice is my entries are basically buy stopping the formation of demand when demand gets created. Buy stop and structure, because all demand is basically just structure. So whenever you see like a demand zone, it's just a structural move. That's why I don't really like have specific names for what I do. It's just I look at what price is actually the story of what the market is telling me. And yeah. So whenever like you're coming to the markets with whatever system you have, just ask yourself these three things. Like, is there a market worth trading, and is that market worth putting risk behind? You should always have those questions. You should always be thinking about your downside, not only your upside, before you even take a trade. Because a lot of traders, they think about their upside, but completely ignore the downside. So when the downside happens, they get burnt. You only lose what you're willing to lose. Remember that. Okay, so we're starting to make a small move up. So I want this. Basically, what I want to happen is I want this candle to basically close up, basically like this. I already drew it out. Let me make sure everything still looks clean in terms of what I'm looking for. Yep. You just gotta see what the market is doing. And this is the patience part too. So I like recording these live streams even if I don't take a trade, because it could still show somebody the patience rather than waiting for a trade than hit and record. Because I never know if I'm going to take a trade for the day, so I automatically just assume that I might not get a trade for the day. So I think that's a very good thought process you should implement when you're trading. So before you hop on the charts for your session, just automatically assume that whatever you're looking for, you're not gonna get that trade today. And if you do get that trade, you're gonna automatically assume that it's gonna be a loss. Yeah, I started to backtest the until the 1 minute time frame, but I noticed that it's very easy to lose myself. Now I prefer the 5 minute. Yeah, cause the 1 minute is happening very quick. Like you have to make decisions fast as well. On top of the thing where I said that you need to have a filtering process. On top of that, you just you have to be fast. Even with me, like whenever y'all see me take a trade on the 1 minute time frame, because y'all practically seen every trade I taken this year, even for challenges. Y'all can see that even sometimes like I be trying to hurry, but sometimes I be a little bit slow on that 1 minute time frame too. But I try my best. Even so, I automatically when I take a trade on the 1 minute time frame, my thought process for that one is if I end up missing my entry, it's okay. Like I automatically tell myself that because I know the 1 minute happens very quickly that I can miss my entry, and I don't want to beat myself up about it if I end up missing an entry. Okay, it looks like it's could potentially set up. So I'm gonna prepare something. So this is how I prepare, because the 5 minute is also fast too. So I basically just get my order on here and I just prepare everything on here. Where's my ATR? I like to use the ATR to tell for stop loss size. I got 5 indicators on here. My trading view be tweaking sometimes. It be saying that I don't like. Never mind. But let me put up my ATR. There it is. My ATR be hiding sometimes. Let me put my email back. Uh, okay, price took out that high. It's still good to wait. Sorry, y'all. My trading view be tweaking sometimes. So what I'm basically waiting for is for price to print this candle, then the next candle after that pauses, and I don't want to see the next candle break back through this 20, which is the red line. If it breaks back through, I can cancel the order. But set this up slightly above to get prepared on ATR 0048. I can do something like this. And that's basically if price wants to pause from this area. I'm gonna calculate my my potential risk while I'm waiting right here. I don't. It needs to close a little bit higher. Three. Let's see. 4.8. $20.83. So we just waiting so I can set up this. All right. So basically, waiting for this 2 minutes to happen, then I'm waiting for another 5 minutes for the candle after to see what it does. Let's see, is it gonna re-break? If it ends up re-breaking back that 20, I can ignore this area. Based on your strategy, I should sell GBP/USD. I need to get out of the fear of missing out. Yeah, man, you just gotta focus on what you're doing. That's all. Cause you gotta keep in mind too, like somebody can be buying the same pair as you, and you could be selling. You could still make money, but you don't want to you don't want to be in regret if you switch your bias because of somebody else, and then you end up taking a loss. Cause you gotta keep on remembering that these setups will happen all the time, and if you back tested already, you can see that the setups aren't going nowhere. The fact that you already back tested, you should already see that there's gonna be another opportunity. Okay, so it stopped right there. So I just don't want price to re-break that 20. So let me see. 20.83. GBP/USD. Let's see. I just need price. Is it gonna stop before that high? Because I don't want price to take out that high before I can get the entry. But if it does, I got to wait a little bit longer. So I'm basically waiting 3 minutes before I set my order. I want that candle to close before taking out that high. Alright, so price ended up taking out that high, and simply I just gotta wait again, because I need that pause before I take a trade. Let's see, so let me put it up right here. Yeah, that's a good stop. I don't like that candle. I want to see how it closes. I'm gonna still prepare everything just in case it closes good. That's the high I want to see the pause from. Let me see. Still the same. 4.8. I'm looking for a better close before I do anything. That would be a perfect close if it could go a bit up there. Alright, so if that candle can print before taking out that high. Alright, it took out that high immediately. I don't know if you remember, I'm trading that 2.5k account from Finitive. I'm up 1.24%. Trading 0.01 lot. What should I do now? Keep trading it? If it's the funded account, you probably should request that payout. And continue trading. Taking a payout and restarting from zero could mess with my psychology, in your opinion. Nah, it shouldn't mess with your psychology, because at the end of the day, remember what I told you, you're just doing the same work that you did prior. So the same work that you did for your back testing, just execute those same rules. So it's better to take the payout right now and then keep on trading. So because think about it like this: if you take the payout now, that money can be used to get another challenge, so you can scale up potentially. Because all you're doing is you're following the same rules that you implemented on that back testing phase and demo testing phase. This is extremely good if we can close like this as well. We came close to that 50 right here. we're starting to move, and if we can still end up pausing, making that pause right there, GBP USD. On the 5 minute, just like that. And point, this is a good ATR. So waiting for this candle to close. And then I need one more candle that prints before taking out this high. And then I'll set up my buy stop. So if y'all don't know, basically doing the order from my phone because it's way easier. And then if I do get a trade, I'll show y'all the accounts. But yeah. Okay, so this candle is gonna form in the next 5 minutes. All I don't want to see it re-break that 20. So I'm gonna say that. So it's okay if it rejects off of that 20, but breaking it, no, that will make me not want to look at this area. So if we can just pause in that next 5 minutes, I could set my order, and if it tags me in, I'll be happy about on the trade. No problem, man. Anytime you can ask me questions anytime. Be happy to answer. The patient part of trading, the waiting part. So I'm seeing if it's gonna re-break that 20 right there, the red line. And I am hungry. All right. So I didn't even get a chance to put a order on, and that's okay. So would you hold a trade during news like FOMC? Of course, if you entered in the morning or you don't trust the broker spreads. Um, Me personally, it depends. So if I'm already in profit, if it's at least 2R, I would potentially close it with the management style I have now. I would close it if I'm at least 2R in profit. If actually, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Yeah, I would just close it. I would just close the trade completely. I'm talking about if I'm at least 2R in profit. Because it wouldn't make sense for me to close if I'm less in profit. Because anything could, I mean, not. It doesn't make sense for me to break even. I mean, I'm tripping here. But yeah, I would just close the trade. All right, so right here, I still basically see the same things. So this, I'm not using this high right here to buy stop because price really broke that 20. But if price can start making another move right here where it's pushing up higher, it pauses against that 10 and 20, then I'll set the buy stop right here. And let me just look at the higher time frame. How is it looking? We're still pausing against that 10 right here. So if I label this, potentially this could be our validation break of structure 1, because we like to see 4 to 5 before the reset. So not even partial running. like my recent management has just been holding the trade until price breaks the 10 EMA. So I wouldn't even, because it just depends on your style. Me personally, I would just close the full position. Oh, I'm on. The amount of patience it takes. While I'm waiting, I'm gonna just take an eye on some other markets. But so far, GBP USD still looks the clearest. Oh, price did make a move from this area. I didn't like I didn't like this area too much. That's why I didn't look at this area either way. There wasn't gonna be any setups here either way. Yeah, I did not like how this range looked. Like gold, this is exactly how I stay out of these on choppy markets. Lower time frame traders are probably getting chopped out right now on gold. Unless you're aiming for a very, very small R and you just pinpoint happen to like, probably like the strategy that probably works with this one is like maybe you trade in the range basically. But that's not my strategy, so it wouldn't go with the system I'm trading. I didn't take any trades right here, just in case y'all wondering for right here. This is crazy too. Yesterday I was actually waiting for this area to happen. If y'all came to the streams yesterday, y'all know I was waiting for USD JPY, and there was another pair I was waiting for. I was waiting for this exact movement, but this happened after 12. So I was just taking a look at what happened. It would have did a nice move, but it didn't happen like when I was on the charts. Let me go back to GBP USD. Yeah, it's good to look back at those trades that would work out. It's like a case study. You're basically studying what those good moves look like, and just making sure whatever you're testing for your system, it just aligns with your case study. And that's one thing I haven't really talked about too much, case studying. Because case studying is what really helps you know what to look for when you're back testing. So like say if you find like a system from someone, you basically go on the charts, find those particular moments, and just take take images, so you're not actually trading. So you're getting used to finding those particular like setups by just looking at particular areas that look clean that end up working, or look clean that don't working, but it has to look the same. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting right here. So we're making a move. I want to wait for this close, because I always judge things based on the close, except when I'm taking my entries, because my entry is just a buy stop through. But this candle can easily close right here. It could easily wick down and close right here. So those are the things that I'm keeping in mind as prices moving. So usually a lot of traders, when they see a big candle, their immediate thought process is to, oh, price is moving, I need to get in. My thought process is, I need to wait for this close to see what's really going on, because like the other candles, this can start a move but end up reversing at the last 2 minutes. And as long as price doesn't clear this overall high, which is that overall validation breaker structure 1, I'm still good to look for entries, because my entries is just for the expectation for price to continue the overall pauses it's doing on the higher time frame, on validation time frame. So right here, so I'm gonna get everything prepared just in case it wants to close right here, then and the next candle does pause. I'm gonna get it prepared by doing this. Just a bit, counting for some spreads. Yeah, that should be good. Maybe we can do a little bit higher. Maybe. What's the ATR 55? There we go. We could do stops right there. Let's mark out the high right here. 30. And I'm gonna calculate my risk. What was the stop? 5.8 pips. Yeah, that still looks good. So as long as it doesn't re-break that 20 like last time, then I'm still good for a buy stop above that high. $17.24. So I'm just waiting now. I got 4 minutes to wait to see what it does. So remember, before you take a trade, what is your assumption? Your assumption is you're not going to get a trade for the day. And if I do get a chance to place the order, I'm gonna show y'all that I did place the order. One more minute left. $17. Alright, so I'm gonna place the order. So I got a buy stop set. Because as you can see, it didn't re-break onto that 20. So let me show y'all real quick. If my account can just load. Oh, that's my challenge account. Hold on. Alright, so if we go to orders, you can see that it's on here. And then we go to my other account. We go to pending. You can see that the order is on here. Alright. So just showing y'all that, you know, I'm not just placing this here and I'm not actually trading the funded accounts, because I've been taking a lot of challenge trades. So as long as, so if this candle, whatever candle, if the next candles end up re-breaking at 20, is the same rule, I'll end up canceling the order. And then I'm gonna show y'all when the order is canceled to show y'all like I actually did cancel the order. Because those type of things do take discipline to actually cancel the order when your rules say to cancel the order, or actually just place the trade when your rules say to place the trade. So simply, if price moves above this high, I'll be in the trade. I'll show y'all that I'm in the trade. And the first thing I have to do when I'm in the trade is take images of when I first enter the trade, because the purpose of that is for me to put it into my journal. Because like I tell y'all, in order to improve, you have to take the images so you can improve. You don't make improvements based on the P&L. So everything that I tell y'all is based on what I'm doing on my journey, what I did as well. Because a lot of people can tell you to do something, but they're not doing it as well. I wonder if it got me, if I got, it should have got me some on challenge um orders. Yeah, I was like, it should have got me in for, got some stops in for my challenges as well. Let me make sure. Because I'm on a trade copier, so I'm trying to make sure everything is there. Yeah. For phase two, this is phase two. I'm gonna of my one of my challenges. I'm gonna set a take profit of 1-to-1 because I'm aiming for a $500. So 3 $500 days. I already hit one $500 day, so I'm gonna hit another one. I'm trying to hit another one because those are the requirements. Something like that. Save. There we go. Then, as you can see, it's in for it. The orders are there for the funded accounts. A 1-to-1, and if I get the entry, I'm gonna tell y'all the same management I do it each time to manage my trades. Or I can just tell y'all right now. So if I do get this entry right here, my management would be either a 1-to-1 break even area, or if it does like a fractal structure where it makes a move, pauses before that 1-to-1 and then breaks that high, then that can be a sign for me to break even. And then after I'm at break even, I'm simply gonna hold the rest of the position with this 10 EMA until price breaks it, and that's when I'll close the rest of the position. Looks like it's almost there, but anything can happen until we are in the trade. Alright, it should get us in the trade. I do have my entry a little bit higher, but let me see. Did it? I wonder if spreads got me in. So none of the entries have been tagged in yet. Yeah, nothing yet. Alright, so we should be in the trade. So as you can see, we are in the trade right here. We're in the trade right here. So I'm gonna use my main account because I'm copy trading to basically manage it. 1-to-1 break even here, like I said, and we're gonna see what this price wants to do. You can see my P&L at the tab right here. So if y'all want to watch the P&L, it's right here. But after I get because I have to manage my trade, so I can't look at the P&L right now. So if y'all want to see, it's in the corner. So simply, since I'm in the trade right now, I'm assuming I'm gonna get a loss on this. That's my first thing, because what you got to understand, when you're taking good entries according to your plan, it doesn't matter whether you're taking a win or loss or break even on that specific trade, because if you notice from your back testing, you taking those trades all together led to profits being made. So I'm assuming the loss until I'm able to break even the trade. If I'm able to break even the trade, I'm assuming it's gonna be a break even, because most of my trades do end up being a break even, and that's actually a good thing, because since I break even so quick, most of my trades end up being a break even. It also minimizes my losses as well, because if most of the times if my good trades, they're not going to hit break even and they're going to continue to go. There's going to be certain outliers that tag break even and then go, but those are just mini outliers, because most of the times if my trade will lose, it's literally going to tag me in and then lose. It's going to lose the whole area like that. And how do I know that? I know that because I back tested and I looked at my journaled trades. So that's how I know that. So if this trade is gonna lose, it's gonna basically do what I'm expecting. Like, it's just gonna do that. Now it's a waiting game. Oh, one thing I forgot to do. I forgot to take my images. So I take the image of the entry, take the image of the validation time frame I used, and then I take a picture of the context time frame. You can basically see it's the same thing, the same type of movement across the 5 hour and the 30 minute that's happening. So there, I got my images. I usually put it after so I can look at the trade, so I can manage it to whatever it wants to do. So yeah. How much did it take you to do that Notion journal? How much time to create it? The Notion journal, it was given to me from my previous mentor. His name was MentFX. It came with his mentorship. I got it in 2022. So it's just I don't know how to really create it. There's probably something online on how to create it, but I didn't create it myself. It was sent to me. But after you get it, it's really easy to input the data in it. So it looks like this trade might reverse, but we're just gonna have to see. Yeah, you don't necessarily even need Notion to journal your trades. You can do something simple as open up a Google Doc sheet, making a simple chart, making some columns in there, and then putting the link, because you can copy the link as well. You go here, press copy link, paste the link in there, and you can always just look back at it. So that's another way you can journal. Alright, it looks like we're gonna take an L on this trade. I'm just waiting for a price to either hit my stop loss right here, because I use Notion because I like it, but it's more simple. I want to add more details like yours. Yeah, I don't know how you make all the extra details. Maybe there's something online on YouTube you could look up on how to add these extra columns, like how I got it, but I'm not really sure. So I ended up taking a loss right here. You can see because my account's right here. Positions have been taken out, as you can see. Positions taken out. And what I'm gonna do right now is just take images. So I'm gonna take images right here of the after. Take images right here. Did it take image? There we go. And take an image of this one right here, of this time frame. So I'm gonna tell y'all my game plan right now. I'm simply just gonna wait for another setup because one of my rules is no more than 2 losses in a day. I took 1 loss in the day, so it's still good to look for 1 more on trade, but I have to wait for a setup. So let's see what's going on in this area. So it took me out, came right here. It's still rejecting nicely. Let me see. It's rejecting off of this 10, and we haven't cleared the highs. So I could technically place an entry right here because we haven't taken out the highs right here, and we're pausing still. So yeah, I'll set 1 more entry right here. I'm actually willing to take a buy stop above that high right there. ATR right here. I'll put it slightly above for the spreads. Yeah, this makes sense to me. Uh, 6.3. I gotta put in my calculations. $6.3. Okay, 1568 buy stop, 68, 1.33, 17. All right, so I got another entry set just above right here. Let me show y'all right here. The order is right there. Order right here. So y'all can basically see it's the same thing. We had a move. This one has set up something. Ended up getting stopped out, but it's still rejecting off of the 10 and 20, showing that price is supporting the orders higher. So if our price crosses through, I'll be in the trade, and we can see if we can get a 1-to-1 break even area or not. So the first thing we do when we have our order set is we assume we're not going to even get the trade. So even though we want to look for another opportunity and we took the loss today and all that, we have to wait for the setup to actually validate itself. So the same boring thing on repeat. All right, it looks like price did it. I don't think it tagged me in yet. So no, it didn't tag me in yet. So we're playing around right here. So I still gotta assume we're not gonna get an entry. All right. So I get an entry. You can see that I got tagged into the trade. You can see my orders right here. So basically, I'm gonna aim for a 1-to-1 on this account real quick, because this is a challenge trade. Let me do that real quick. Take profit. And this was risking 500. There you go. And then I'm gonna take the images right here. So all these images I gotta input into my data sheet right here. And right here. So if I take another loss for the day, I'm done for the day, and then I'm gonna hop off the stream. But if it reaches to my 1-to-1 break even, that'll be a sign for me to break even this trade. Just the waiting game. And remember, the P&L doesn't matter. It's about the rules you're following. So even though y'all can see in the corner of my tabs that is up like with I don't know, $400-500, the P&L doesn't matter. It's just about the rules. Just patiently waiting. Sorry if I'm not talking. I'm just trying to let this thing play out. I don't even know what to talk about either way. If you have any questions, I'm here to ask. I mean, that didn't make no sense. I'm here to answer. So it looks like I might take a loss on this. Just seeing what it's doing. And it looks like, trying to see, is this frozen? Alright, looks like I took a loss on this trade right here, but I'm still in the other accounts. Well, I should get taken out soon, so I'm gonna wait for that. Come on. Alright, so if this can take us out for a loss for the rest of the accounts, then I'm gonna be ending the stream. We done for the day. Alright, there we go. So I just took a loss, 2 losses on the day. We're done for the day. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna take images. So that's the 5-minute right here. We got the 30. We got a lot of images we got to put into our journal today. Take that image right here. And the 5-hour time frame right here. Download image. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hop off the charts. I'm going to input this in my journal. And I'm going to show up tomorrow following the same exact rules. Show y'all my accounts. Show y'all I didn't take trades outside of the stream. And I stay disciplined. So, yeah.